Hello students, Standard 9, Supplementary Lesson number 2. The Adventures of Toto. It is a lesson of a pet animal, a mole, who kept a pet animal in his house, but he did not tell anything about it. And what will happen with it if the animal captured by the family member or not? We will see into this lesson. The Adventures of Toto. Toto is the name of his pet animal. Grandfather bought Toto from the Tampa driver. It means the horse cart. For some or 5 rupees, 4 or 5 rupees. The Tampa driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of the place that the grandfather decided he would take the little fellow to the private school. At that time, the monkey, means the dog, was so excited that the grandfather decided that we will put the Toto into a zoo. Toto was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep-set eyebrow, and his teeth, which were purely white, were very often displayed in a smile that seduced the light out of the elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. Here, the writer described how the Toto looked, but his hands looked dried up, as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Yet his fingers were quick and whipped, and his tail, by adding to his good looks, it means grandfather believed a tail would aid to anyone's good looks, any animal's good look. Also saw the third hand. He could use it to hang from the ground, and it was capable of scooping out the legs that might be out of the reach to his hand. We often put something, as we put something far from the children in our house, as they put something that is harmful for the monkey, they were so far put this kind of things far away from the monkey. Grandmother always first. When the grandfather brought home some new birds or animal. Actually, the grandmother did not like that the grandfather take any animal or a bird into the home. So it was decided that Toto's presence would be kept a secret between the grandfather and the grandchildren, until she was a particularly good mood. They kept the secret until the granny, it means the grandmother came got into a good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom, where he was tied securely or so very hard to a pale fresh air into a wall. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to the labs, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornaments, paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out the net brick and the plaster. Actually, at that time, Toto snatched everything from his neck. The penny for ball had been wrenched from his pocket, and the school pencil, which had been hanging there, was instead. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. The boy was worried that when the grandfather came to know that Toto did everything, then what's he did? What's he tried? But the grandfather did not said the grandfather. Given time, I am sure he could have tied up the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. At that time, he also suggested something that his presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred into a big cage in the servants' quarter, where a number of grandfather's cats lived very sturdily together. Already, grandfather kept many animals and many pets, but because of the granny's afraidness, he put all the animals into the servants' quarter. And today, he also put Toto into the servants' quarter in a big cage. A Toto is a pair of rabbit and squirrel and wild, my pet dog, bird. Which kind of animals are there in the servants' quarter? So, there are tortoise, rabbit, not a single rabbit, but a pair of rabbit. Then squirrel and bird. But the monkey wouldn't allow any his companion to sleep. And today he added monkey than Toto. But as you know that monkey is the mischievous animal. So monkey did not allow to any animal to sleep peacefully in the night. So grandfather who had lived Tehran the next day, Dehradun, collected his pension in Sahara to decide to take him alone. At that time, the grandfather decided that I will take the Toto with me. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about this afterward. A big black canvas, kit bag was provided for Toto. Everything was arranged for the Toto. When the bag was closed, there was something straw on the bottom became the new color. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hands to the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him. The bite of his way strongly. His efforts to get out of the effect, making the bag roll about on the floor. Occasionally jumps into the air, and exhibition that attracted a curious crowd on lookers on the Dehradun railway platform. Toto remained in the bag as far as Kharagpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket into the railway for sale, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and knew ticket collector wanted him. At that time, Toto came out from his bag. The poor man was taken aback, and with his great presence of mind, and much to the grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You will have to pay for it accordingly. You have to pay the tickets for your dog, because the ticket takers think that it is not a monkey but it is a dog." In vain did grandfather take the Toto to the bag. In vain he tried to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog, or even as a water product. Toto was classified a dog, the ticket collector, according to ticket collector's point of view. 3 rupees was some 100 and he square. Then grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you have charged all the animals?" The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, brought off it the forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and input look, said, "No charge. It is not a dog." At that time, the ticket taker says that we are not taking charge for the tortoise, because we are just taking the charge for the dogs. When Toto was finally accepted by grandfather, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion for the family donkey, Nana. At that time, monkey kept companion, and the companion is none other than a donkey. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause pulling at her collar and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. Grandfather gave Nana a sled across her haunch and he put the jar to bed. At that time, Nana is his donkey. Dragon Toto with her. He had fastened on her and long ears with the staff and teeth. Toto and Nana never become friends. It means the monkey and donkey could not become friends ever. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evening was the large bowl of warm water given to him by grandmother for his bath. He was cunningly test the temperature with his hand and then gradually stepped into the bath, first on the foot, then the other, until he was into the water up to his neck. Once comfortable, he would take his soap in his hand or feet and rub himself all over. It means he was bathed at that time. When the water became cold, he would get out of the run quickly and he could teach a fire in order to dry himself. He knew everything that from where he get warm, from where he get hot. If anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto's feeling would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. One day Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. A large kitchen kettle had been left on fire to boil a tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid, finding the water just warm enough for a bath. He got in with his hand sticking out of the open kettle. This was just a fine for a while, till then is everything good, until the water began to boil. But he put the kettle on the fire, and that's why the water is boiling too much. Toto then rested himself a little, put finding it cold outside, sat down again. He continued hopping up and down for some time, and his grandmother arrived and heard him. It means move him to tell him that go out from here, half boiled out of the kettle. If there is a part of the brain specially devoted to mischief, that part was largely devoted to Toto. He was always tearing things into pieces. Whenever one of my aunt came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. One day, in a lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself the rice. How clever the Toto is, we can imagine that. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw the plate on her. At that time, the Toto was angry and threw a plate on my grandmother. My aunt rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his excited to the window. We found him on the branches of jackfruit tree, the dish still in his arm. He remained there in the whole afternoon under the jackfruit tree. He remained all the afternoon there, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain. He determined that I will finish every grain of rice at that time. And then, in order to strike my grandmother, who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and jetted with the delight when it broke into 100 pieces. Obviously, Toto was not short of cat who could keep walking because the anger come out rapidly. Even grandfather realized that we were not well to do and could not afford frequently lose of pieces, clothes, curtain, and wallpaper. So grandfather found a tanga driver and sold Toto back to him, only 3 rupees. With the 5 rupees, grandfather bought the Toto, but he sold the Toto into only 3 rupees because at the end of their life they are so suffered from the Toto that they could not put the Toto in their house. So it is the journey of Toto who take from a tanga driver and who got back from the tanga driver. But the grandfather lost it 2 rupees. So here we completed our supplementary chapter number 2, The Adventures of Toto. Till